We all get them. Bills. 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 But what do you do to stay on top of them and pay them on time? And then afterwards, what do you do with the paperwork? Well, getting organized so you pay your bills on time and then know what to do with all the paperwork afterwards is what this video is all about. You know, the way I look at it, it's a good thing that some of our bills are automatic. Could you imagine this? Hello, I'm calling about our electricity. Yes, I'd like to place an order for next month's supply. So honestly, I'm glad I don't have to call about my electricity or my gas or my water each month. And there's not much difference between them and really your Netflix subscription. You still get a bill each month or maybe every few months. But if you're finding that you are missing bill payments or you're being surprised by bills that you just weren't expecting, or even if you get your bills and you pay them on time, but you just don't know what to do with the statements, with all that paperwork, and if you're just plain lost when it comes to dealing with your monthly bills, then you run the risk of messing up your monthly cash flow. If you mess up your monthly cash flow, that can impact your ability to put food in your fridge, or even maybe your ability to save money. And repeatedly missing bill payments will negatively impact your credit rating. A bad credit rating, well, that can impact your ability to get things like car loans and mortgages, or at least get them at decent rates. It could also affect whether you get that apartment you looked at and you really like, because some landlords will check people's credit rating before renting, and if yours is bad, well, they may not rent to you. But it doesn't have to be that way, because managing your bills isn't rocket science when you have a simple system like the one I'm going to share with you in this video. Just before we dive into my 4 steps, I wanted to say that if you're the kind of person who can pay your bills immediately, consistently, and always does it right when you receive them, then you won't need step 1 of my system. You can just jump on to step 2 and then keep going. But if you're like me and can't just drop everything every time another bill arrives, then step 1 is going to be really helpful, and I recommend you watch it. All right, so speaking of that, let's get on with it. So the first thing that you're going to do to set your system up is you're going to find yourself a file folder. It can be an old one that you flip over and you make a new label on, but you put on it bills to pay. Now if you can't find a file folder, even a piece of paper folded in half would do it, but I like file folders. So then your bills arrive. You may get some in the mail. Sometimes people get them just simply electronically. If you get them electronically, get them printed up so that you can work with them. And then what you're going to do... Printer? I don't own a printer. What am I supposed to do? Don't worry about it. She's got a solution for that. Just wait for it. So your bills have arrived. Get your file folder. If you have one, get your nice letter opener. I'm kind of fond of the letter opener. It makes a nice, neat, tidy opening. Just kind of fun. But if you're the kind who just wants to rip it open. Get it open. Pull out your bill. And what do we got here? Oh, telephone bill. Get your folder, put your bill in the folder. You have other bills, get them out. Could be your heat bill. Anyway, you get the idea. Stick it in your folder. And then put it in a safe place. Okay, so I said put it in a safe place, and what I mean by that is put it in a place that's convenient. It might be on the shelf that you've got in a room that's you use all the time. It's maybe in a, just tucked in between some binders or other books. Maybe you've got a filing cabinet. Put it at the front of the filing cabinet and give it a tag that you can really see it easily. You want to be able to get to it, pull it out, and never, ever lose it. You've got your bills collected in their file folder. Awesome. Now you're wondering, well, when do I pay them? Well, we already talked about paying them right away if you can, but if you're following this system, what I would recommend is once a week at a predetermined time, pick a time that works for you, you sit down and that's when you go through the folder and you pay the bills. Maybe you pick Monday night. That's your night. Every Monday night you'll sit down and you'll go through and you'll pay the bills. And you'll check that you've got everything printed that needs to be printed, and you do it. Now maybe that's too much. You think every week? So if that's too much, my recommendation is no less than twice a month. So maybe every other Monday. If you go longer than that, you start to brush up against deadlines. And online banking takes a couple of days for your transaction to clear through the banks and reach the company you're paying. So if you wait too long, they may actually get the payment late, and then you were late. But if you do it once a week or once every other week, you should be fine. So that's what I would recommend. When you do sit down to pay your bills, open up your folder and work through them one at a time. And as you go along, go into your computer, get into your banking, and hopefully you've got your banks all set up so that each of the people you have to pay, or the companies that you have to pay, are in as a payee. If you have new ones, set them up. And what I want you to do is, as you pay your bill, I want you to write on your bill what you did, basically. You want to capture on the bill statement exactly what you did. You're going to write the amount that you're paying. Ideally, it's the whole amount, but you'll write the amount you're paying. You write the date that you're going to pay it, and you're going to write the account that you're paying it from and the reference number. We're going to do that right now. So I'm going to pay my telephone bill, and we're going to do it right now. So let's just switch over the camera. So we've got our telephone bill here. I'm doing my banking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the amount I'm paying, $76.95. We'll say that's my bill. I'm going to write the date, and the date I'm going to go today is the 12th of June, and it's 2023. And the account I'm paying it from, we'll say it's my checking account. It's my abbreviation, and I always do the reference number right there, 765828. And there we go. So we've got the amount we're paying, $76.95. We've got the date we paid it on, where we paid it out of, and the reference number. That's all you got to do. Just put that on there. Now you know, and if there's ever a question about whether this bill was paid, you have the bank's reference number and the date of your transaction. Now, if for some reason you can't pay the whole bill and there's going to be a balance owing, then what I do is, okay, so we're moving on to this one. It's still, I'm going to do it this way, June 12th, 2023. And the bill, the amount owing is going to be $193. Say it's that much. But all I have is $100. So I'm going to say I paid $100. Do it out of D's checking account. That's my abbreviation for checking. And reference number 734826. Say that's the reference number. You'd get that from your bank. On the final, once you've hit the confirm button, it gives you a reference number. But now we haven't paid the whole amount. So what I'm going to say is balance owing, or new balance, is $93. So I know that I still actually owe $93 on this. And when I might leave this in this file folder, because next time I come back to do bills, maybe I've got more in my account and I can pay it off. We want to pay it off, or we're going to get some interest on that amount. But if you can't, well, and that is reality sometimes, at least you've captured what you did on your bill. Step 3 is tracking. And it's a hugely important aspect to my system, is tracking. This is how I know where I am in the month and where we are with our bill payments, what has been paid, what hasn't been paid, and what's coming up. At a glance, I can see everything. And I do this in an Excel doc, and I put it there, and I keep track. And if you know how to set up Excel, then go ahead and do that. And if you don't, check out my upcoming video where I'm going to focus on how to set up a tracking document. It's not a big deal, it's not really hard, just a little table with the bills going down and the months going across, and you can put a check mark or write paid or the amount, and when you know that box is filled in, the bills are paid. When they're all filled in, you know you're clear of the month. Yes, it's a good feeling. So now we're going to go on to step 4 with what to do with the actual papers. We're in the final stretch. We're in the home stretch. We are filing, but that's just a fancy word for putting things away, basically. Putting them away in an organized fashion. And I have the simplest filing system ever, I think. Let me show you. For my filing system, I use a binder, a very simple method of containing things. It doesn't matter what color the binder is. It could be a black one. It could be lime green. It could be whatever color blue that is. It's a nice blue. Pick your binder. We're going to pick the blue one because I noted there's already file dividers in here. You can use fancy dividers like this. They're ready to go. These kind you actually write on in pencil. So you grab your pencil and you write on it what it is. So we had, let's see, let's find our bills. Let's see, we've got our bills that they were to pay. They've been paid now. Get that away. We've got the telephone bill. That's right, telephone. And we had a heat bill. And there's going to be more because that's how life is. You get your binder. You could make tabs, just saying, if you don't have nice little fancy tabs like this, you can make them. You could use colored paper, whatever color. You could staple on, make little tabby things out of cardboard and staple them on. That's actually how mine really is. I don't have the fancy ones in mine. But as long as you've got something that's got a tab, open it up, grab your nice hole punch. If you don't have a hole punch, and you can find them obviously at the office stores, but you can find them at the used stores too for a little bit less money. Punch your bills, open your book, put your telephone bill in there. And the way I do it, I always put the newest one on top. Just my way, always the newest one on top. This will make noise. Pop over to the next tab, get it open. Heat bill goes in there. Voila, you just filed. Isn't that easy? I love it. And you just put them in. Whatever all the bills are that you've got, if you've got a telephone, or you've got heat, or you have electricity, whatever bills that you receive bill statements for, put them in your binder. Then you could put the binder on the shelf, and maybe on your shelf you put these guys together. That could be a good idea. They could live together. And that's your filing. You're done. Before I forget, I wanted to mention about that option if you don't have a printer. There's an easy workaround. So this is if you get bills emailed to you, statements, that sort of thing. You can go ahead and download them onto your computer, but then just get a piece of paper and write the name of the bill on the paper. Write the statement date, the amount that's due. I've got it abbreviated AMT, and then the due date. So you've got all that information, and leave some space. And then when it comes time to actually paying your bills, you've got space at the bottom to do all of the other, or to put all of the other information in that we talked about earlier. And then file this page in your binder with your other bills. Simple, simple solution. As well, grab a calendar and write on your calendar that you're going to do these weekly sessions of sitting down with your bills. Whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, that's fine. But put it on your calendar or in whatever planning tool you use, and set it up as a task to do on that day, whatever day you pick, so that you don't forget. It becomes part of your normal routine. Finally, I wanted to mention that I talked quite a lot about credit ratings earlier in the video, And I never mentioned my own. And I'm actually not comfortable to say the exact number that I've been told mine is, but it's healthy enough of a number that I feel confident to share these planning and organizing suggestions with you. Taking care of your finances can be easy when you have a system that you use regularly. Gather your bills, pay them, make the notes on each statement, enter them into a tracking document, put the statements in a binder, keep it all in a safe but convenient place. I've been using the system for years and it's paid off. My family's organized, we've dealt with debts and mortgage, and our bills are paid on time. With this system, if you follow it regularly, build the habit, you will be organized. Your bills will be paid on time. You'll be able to deal with whatever debts or mortgages come along your way, and you'll feel peace of mind for knowing that nothing is going to slip through the cracks because you're on it. I mentioned in step 3 about a tracking document. It is so important to keep track of your bill payments. It's like the foundation of the system, in my view. It's so important. If you don't know how to put one together, check out this video here and you'll find out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.